Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. First off, I just wanted to let everybody know that this video was heavily inspired by my friend comicdrake and his friend the Red Bard. Both of their channels are going to be down in the description below. They both did the Can You Live Entirely off of Spider-Man merchandise, as well as the Can You Live Entirely off of Marvel merchandise. And on the Red Bard's channel, you can find similar videos on Evangelion, as well as other anime like that. So if you guys like this video, please go check them out. They were a big inspiration for this video. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So let's talk Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball has been around in Japan, at least the anime portion, since 1986. So it's been around over 30 years now. And Dragon Ball has merchandise spanning almost anything you can imagine. So because of this, recently I've started to wonder, could you live entirely off of Dragon Ball merchandise? So today, we're gonna figure that one out. Me and SSJGoshin4 are going to dive deep into the world of Dragon Ball and just figure out for ourselves and for y'all, could you live entirely off of Dragon Ball merchandise? Let's find out.
Here we have our everyday superfan of Dragon Ball. He is woken up by his Goku riding Nimbus alarm clock. He gets out of his bed, that's layered in his classic Dragon Ball Z covers, and walks to his bathroom, where he'll take care of some morning business. We'll give him some privacy as he does his stuff, but we'll make sure to leave him some Dragon Ball Super toilet paper, as well as a Master Roshi tissue dispenser in case he needs to blow his nose. Afterwards, he decides to take a shower, and uses his shampoo and 4-star Dragon Ball soap. Once out of the shower, he dries off with his Dragon Ball towel and decides to brush his teeth with his Dragon Ball toothbrush and toothpaste. And as like every Dragon Ball superfan who wants to look good for the ladies, he uses his Dragon Ball Z hair wax and body spray to make himself look and smell as good as a Super Saiyan. After getting dressed in a spiffy Dragon Ball outfit, he decides to head to the kitchen to make some breakfast. Now our superfan has been a bit self-conscious about his weight lately, so he decides to weigh himself on his Goten scale before eating. After everything checks out, he decides to pour himself a bowl of Dragon Ball Heroes cereal. Still feeling a bit hungry, he decides to cook up some pancakes in his Dragon Ball Kai pancake pan. After a delicious breakfast, he throws his trash away inside of his Frieza-faced trash can, and goes to get himself a can of officially licensed black coffee. He pops on his Dragon Ball Z Adidas and heads out.
Before he leaves, he decides he needs to get started on his daily load of laundry. So he uses his Dragon Ball Super Vegeta laundry detergent and goes ahead and gets started on a load. Ready to start his day, he could catch a ride on the officially branded Dragon Ball Super Broly train, but he's feeling a bit more energized. He could ride on one of his Dragon Ball Z skateboards, but he ultimately decides to take a ride in his official Dragon Ball Z bicycle. He pops in his Dragon Ball Z headphones to listen to his numerous Dragon Ball soundtracks that have been released, and decides to go for a ride to his friend's house. Once there, the two decide to play some Dragon Ball video games using their official Dragon Ball Z branded PlayStation 2 controllers. As they play, they decide to do some snacking. Our superfan decides to snack on some Super Dragon Ball Heroes chips, while the friend eats some Dragon Ball Super Ramen. Once done, they decide to share a box of Dragon Ball Z fruit snacks. While playing, our superfan sees his friend's dog in Goku's gi, wanting to play. After tiring him out, he goes to take a nap inside of the Capsule Corp doghouse. After a few hours of playing, they get hungry again and decide to go get something to eat. They decide to go to KFC, where they're having the Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods promotion.
After getting home, they decide to watch some Dragon Ball Super on Crunchyroll, as one sits on a Dragon Ball Super computer chair and the other in a smaller blow-up chair. They share some Dragon Ball desserts and chocolate candies as the day goes towards its end. Our superfan decides it's time to go, says goodbye to his friend, gets back on his bike and heads home. After having a fun day, he decides to get ready to go to bed as he gets washed up and back into his pajamas. Feeling nostalgic, he decides to write down the things that happened today in his Dragon Ball Super notebook as he lays down in his bed. The room lit with only the light of his 4-star Dragon Ball lamp as he's soon to drift off to sleep.
So, Can you live entirely off of Dragon Ball merchandise? Yeah. Now, not the easiest and most comfortable way, mind you, but if this was something you definitely wanted to do, you could do it. Yeah, you could definitely live off of Dragon Ball merchandise. So, that finally answers that age-old question. I really just wanted to give a big thank you to SSJGoshin4. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to find out this much about this incredibly rare and hard to find officially licensed Dragon Ball merch that I never even knew was out there, such as the Dragon Ball Super toilet paper or the Master Roshi tissue dispenser. So thank you again so much to her, and please, her link is going to be in the description below. Please check her out. She's awesome. She's been around the Dragon Ball community for years. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.